Oh, hello. Time for some spooky games. I'm playing the first of many Goosebumps games called, as you can see on the frame there. In fact, let's just get a visual up so you have something to look at while I'm jabbering. And there we go. We're playing Goosebumps Escape from Horrorland, the first in a series, not an official series, certainly not a planned series, but a bunch of video games based on the Goosebumps books and TV show and all the other merchandise that Goosebumps had back in the 90s. I'm playing all the video games, and I'm talking about them on the channel. So, we're starting out with the first game from 1996, developed by Dreamworks Interactive. It doesn't really show here in these little tiny screenshots, but it was I guess you'd call it a first-person adventure game. It's from the first-person perspective, so you as the protagonist, you have the worldview and you look at everything through your perspective. And it's an adventure game, a point-and-click adventure game, in that you go around, you click on stuff, and in that way, in using that gameplay, you solve puzzles, you figure out how to, in this case, rescue these three kids. The three kids on the box are going to pop up throughout this game, and our goal is to rescue them. It's an interesting game with really high production values. That's what stood out to me the most. These are real actors, pretty good actors. That's a big part of it too, is because it had DreamWorks Interactive, which was backed by many big industry types like Steven Spielberg, David Geffen, I believe, Jeffrey Katzenberg were DreamWorks, and DreamWorks Interactive was also backed by Microsoft, aka Bill Gates. So there were a lot of big players with deep pockets kind of involved in this company. And this was one of their big efforts. And it shows in the way that the environments are not just CG. A lot of these games were kind of modeled on Myst. And Myst, was all pre-rendered CG visuals, right? It's all flat images rendered from 3D models. This game does have some of that, but it also has miniature sets, physical props, physical actors kind of interacting, kind of composited onto these, CG environments and miniature set photograph environments. And it all adds up to to me, a surprisingly expensive looking game. It looks really good. And it's weirdly interesting to play and kind of experience now, more than, or 30 years later, because I should mention that's why I'm playing all these games, because it's the 30th anniversary of Goosebumps. I've been reading all the books. I'm still not done. I'm still getting through the original 62 books in the Goosebumps series. So there was the original 62, and then there were more series after that, like Goosebumps Series 2000, Give Yourself Goosebumps, Tales to Give You Goosebumps. Then after that, it's like the HorrorLand series, etc., etc. It goes on and on. But right now we're in the 90s, 1996, when Goosebumps Mania was definitely at its peak. The TV show started in 96. The books and the merchandise were definitely going nuts. So there was a lot going on. Now I'm playing this video game. Let's get the ad out of there. Let's get our game or our operating system up and running. As you can see here, this game is for Windows 95. That was the operating system for which it shipped. And it really can only run in a virtual machine, and that's what this is here. Although I'll mention, I didn't put this together. That big old icon in the middle, that's the logo for we'll call them an entity called the Collection Chamber. It's thanks to them that this game is really easy to play. I'll link to the site in the description. But yeah, Collection Chamber does a ton of good work in helping preserve these old, not just PC games, console games too, but basically they figure out how to package these games up in a way that makes them very easy to just install and run. There's no configuration involved. It's just very straightforward. And thanks to them, I can very easily just kind of get it up and running like that. Was I in frame during most of that? I was probably off over here, but oh well. There you go. 1996. Company logos. And it's interesting because I've played this already once, so I wouldn't get lost during this recording. But it's a fascinating kind of game that my first thought was, okay, this is going to be my favorite. of all the Goosebumps video games I'm going to play from this point and forward. This one just has, I don't know, it has a certain charm. And again, the production values help. Very dramatic. Yeah, the production values and everything else just kind of adds up to a very charming game of its time, I guess. FMV games are, I think, notoriously bad in their quality, but again, because of the...
There you are. I'm so glad I found you. My house is becoming a total nightmare. Hey, Scooter, give this to me. Good dog. Come on. I need you to come with me.
Yeah, charming intro here as well. I lost my train of thought. I think I was just saying, like...
See, Mom and Dad go out, and I was supposed to be watching Luke and his stupid friend Clay. And they're running around the house like wild maniacs. And then I go, wait a sec, why is it suddenly so quiet? I don't just mean quiet, I mean you could hear a bug belch. I decide to go after them, right? I mean, they're not in the playroom, they're not in Luke's room. I'm telling you, they're gone. The next thing I know, the house starts making these really weird noises. I'm all, what is this, poltergeist? Starts creaking and groaning. Lights are flashing, doors are slamming, shutters are banging. Oh, man. What? Don't give me that look. Last year, we got trapped in that scary theme park called HorrorLand, and when we escaped, this monster gave us 4 free passes. Well, these are 2 of those tickets, and the others were right on top of Luke's dresser. And now they're gone. What? Don't you believe me? I was positive this house was going nuts. Man, maybe I'm the one that's going nuts.
So there you go. That kind of gives you a taste of what lies ahead. Both in terms of the tone of the game, but also the cutscenes. Because like a lot of adventure games, it's pretty short once you know what to do, but it has a lot of cutscenes and dialogue. So, oh, let's stop spinning.
Oh no, no possible way.
Where is she?
I don't even want to think about how they did it, but somehow we're back here in HorrorLand. This can't be good. Man, if we're smart, we'll find a way out of here real fast. See, never know what's real here and what's not. But either way, it's always totally terrifying. Like here, for instance, Werewolf Village. Get what I mean? I'm freaking out. And of course, it has to be a full moon.
Hey! How about a little help over here?
You know, I think for B-movie type horror for kids,
No.
I think that's where performances are pretty good. I think it fits the game well. And again, this is I guess ostensibly for kids, for children. So, and I should note, just quick background is I did read a lot of the books back then. I basically stopped as soon as I turned 13. So basically, I was the perfect age for those books because I was the same age as the protagonists when the books were first getting released. So I was definitely in the demographic. I'm an older millennial and just about the right age for the original run. So yeah, this would have been, if I had a PC at the time, this would have been a game for me. So here we go. Let's deal with this. There's a lot of stuff to look at and click on, but let's deal with them over there first.
Luke, what'd you do? What'd you touch? What'd you He must have done something to get us back here. 2 seconds alone and he gets us all in a ton of trouble.
Hey, don't blame me. All I know is I walked into my room, those HorrorLand tickets were glowing, I touched them, and poof, here we are.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, Lizzie, this place is even scarier than the last time.
Yeah, we've been hearing wolves, and I guarantee you that can't be good. If they attack us, we're doomed. Who stopped you in these stops?
What difference does it make? Don't you love my sister? We're in a total pain, and she's standing around wanting details. We're not telling you anything till you let us free.
Come on, Lizzie, find a key, a hacksaw, a crowbar. Whatever! Just get us out of here! Don't you think you should at least say please?
Please?
All right, yeah, these the characters get into these loops once they're waiting for you to do something or take an action. All right, so we're here, Escape from Horrorland. If you're not familiar with Goosebumps somehow, there's a book from the original series called One Day at Horrorland. This game, I guess, is set up as a direct sequel. So these 3 characters are the same 3 kids who are put in peril in that book. And Horrorland really blew up. I guess you'd call it a brand, but Scholastic on R.L. Stine, and Scholastic is the publisher of the book series. They really latched onto Horrorland as a concept. Like, so when they, because Goosebumps stopped for a while when R.L. Stine's people and Scholastic's people were in a lawsuit, lawyer fight. So I think from like 2000 to 2008, there were no Goosebumps books, and then when they finally came back, the series returned as like a serialized series of books based on Horrorland. So everything was focused on Horrorland as the central evil, I guess, of those books. And I haven't read those, and I don't know if I'm gonna, because, at some point you have to I have to stop reading them. But, so yeah, Horrorland is a long-running element of the Goosebumps series, and this was kind of their first foray. It's funny, I'll proceed it in a minute, but one last thought, I guess, is I was reading or watching some of the behind-the-scenes stuff, and one of the directors of this game, pointed out that when they were reviewing the books to turn them into video games, they realized, like, oh yeah, this, the idea of a theme park with specific lands absolutely lends itself to a video game because it's levels, right? It's the Werewolf Village level, and then it's the HorrorLand Plaza level, and then the Vampire Village level. So this concept just translates to a video game pretty easily, at least, and successfully, I'll say, in this attempt. All right, can I talk to the kids?
Come on, you two are in pain!
If you're not finding anything in Werewolf Village, then maybe you need to look somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right. So, the way you traditionally play an adventure game, you're going to wander, and you're going to get hecka lost, and you're going to go all over the place looking for things. I have a little walkthrough that I wrote for myself so that I would not get lost. So we'll kind of be making a beeline for the story, to get through the story and help these kids, but also to find some collectibles. And there are 2 types of collectibles. There are tokens and there are cards. And there are 777 tokens, so we're not going to be worrying about tokens at all. I guess it's not impossible if they put it in the game, but it's not something I'm going to try to get. However, for the cards, there are only 10 of them, so that's the only optional stuff I'll be trying to collect. So it just so happens there's a card right here, so we can click on a lot of stuff. There you go, funny little things and vignettes strewn about. But if we click on these trash cans, first of all, if we click on this one, hey, we get a card. And if we want to view the cards, we can go to our pause screen, we can go to our score. That's weird. Eventually, when you click on a card, it'll present a little hint. But I think because we're still in like the tutorial part, maybe, they're not showing me the hints yet. We can do other stuff like save the game. Why not? Let's replace that. Yeah, we want to replace it. Game start. There you go. And I'll show you one more thing now, because I'm not going to be going in here at all for the playthrough. So there are these trash cans strewn about the HorrorLand area, our theme park, are actually portals to what is maybe the most terrifying part of the game. And you'll see in a moment why. So, alright, we got through a pre-rendered CG video. Hey, here we go. So, in addition to being a first-person point-and-click adventure, there are these segments of the game, and especially this underground area, that are basically Doom, or Wolfenstein or something. You can use the mouse to move around. I don't recommend it, it's horrible. But if you can also use the arrow keys and spacebar to interact. And we can play a little bit. You can hear something spooky around there. There are the tokens I mentioned, which are they say if you want the perfect score, you have to get them all. I don't know what it means to get a perfect score, why it matters, but so here you go. Here's a little bit of the gameplay down here. You can collect these. Oh, you saw that, right? So there are these critters roaming around down here, which are. Oh, look at that! It didn't chase me down. Oh, maybe. There it is. So there you go. Pretty straightforward. You can wander around these corridors, run into, get caught by critters down there, and you just get returned to where you were. There's no, this game doesn't have death in it. There's no penalty. The only penalty I'll point out is if I had collected the coins and successfully escaped, they would have been in this inventory pouch down at the bottom. I failed because I got caught, so I don't get tokens, and that's really the only penalty throughout the game. Like if you get hit, you lose tokens, and that's it. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed that look at the underground, because I am not going back. A lot of weird sounds. Alright, let's start going beeline in here. So, alright, the kids are stuck, and we have to start wandering around to try to help them. First stop is Ye Old Butcher Shop. What can we look at around here?
Is that a dog or a wolf? It's a wolf. Whoa. What's happening? What's he doing? Whoa. That was freaky. I don't know about you, but I am moving on.
Okay, well, surprise, the place called the Werewolf Village has a werewolf in it, which we'll deal with later on. But first we're going to this butcher shop. This very gross butcher shop. Right. Yep, give me the steak. There you go, classic adventure game elements. That inventory menu. Right, what do we need? What do we need? We can poke around. Yeah, we'll try to collect some tokens while we are around. Here's another one. Anything else? More steak? I guess it just replaces the steak I already had. Alright. Alright, well, we'll be coming back here as well, so I'm going to leave for now. So, butcher shop, that does it for that. Then we're going to... Oh, yeah. So now that we have the steak, we can approach these scary-looking plants. And if we hadn't fed them, they would block the path, so that was good. We did it. Puzzle solved. Yeah, they do these close-up scenes where you can sometimes just get a closer look at stuff, but it doesn't really do much. Yeah, nothing here either. Let's look here on the left. Lots of that too, lots of little gags. Yeah. What about the fire? You know, I don't know how to actually get this token in the fire. I assume you need to get a poker somewhere, maybe? Oh well, I won't worry about it. What else can we do? You can poke at that stuff. Oh yeah. If you want a sense of what the underground is like, here's a bunch of maps showing you where the critters are and the tunnels and the portals. So I guess the underground does also have... Oh. These unexplored areas are interesting. I hadn't considered that there might be more to see. But we're not going... Again, I'm not going to spend time down there, so we're not doing it. And in fact, there will be a more detailed map later, so we can take a look then. All right, let's move on to the bedroom here. Rifle through more of someone's personal stuff. Yeah, this is interesting. There's supposed to be something in the wallet that you're supposed to find. At least I have it in my notes here, but nah, nothing immediate. So we won't worry about that. Let's bail out of that view. Here's an interesting hint about something. The Morris family is wanted. What does this say? Fennel, bowl, something? Peel? Yeah, I have no idea what that says. Hey, there's card number 2, right? Is that where we're at? Yeah. Freaky teddy bear. Not going to worry about it. What else can we zoom in on here? Is it me or is that... This looks like it's the painting of like a pope or something with a werewolf overlaid on it. It's weird. Here we have a bunch of tokens, which we'll take. What am I up to? 7 tokens. And then, again, classic adventure game, brute forcing. You can just kind of try to click on everything. I think the card is the only thing to grab in here. Yep. All right. Let's get out. Oh, actually, one more thing I want to try. I said one more thing I want to try. Does this drawer open? Oh, look at that, it does. Oh, it's still annoying me. There's supposed to be a credit card here that I can inspect somehow. Oh, well. Not getting anything out of this place. Let's go. Oh, wait. One more thing I thought to do. Yeah. Another werewolf painting. Let's go. You know, I don't think I said I played before. I played twice, actually, as I was verifying a few things. And I didn't come into this room at all. Look at me, not fully exploring the spaces. Nothing there. Oh, except a... All right, let's try something. I have 8 tokens. I still have 8. Yep, give me that. Oh, there's the ATM number. That's the PIN number I was trying to find in that wallet. Again, a reminder about the Morris family. That would be... not us. That would be that kid Lizzie and her brother and Luke and their friend Clay. Why does that hurt me? That's weird. Alright, well, now we can bail. No, except Sorry, one more thing I noticed. Now we can bail. Alright, we did that. Now we're backing up to where the kids are. Unless there's something else worth exploring. Which I think there is. Did we go in the cafe? Not yet. Alright, we're gonna grab the bug. Coins floating in midair, sure. Yeah, and you have to keep an eye on that bug too, because it'll get away, and it will be necessary later on. Here we have what looks like a meeting of a coven. A lot of broken mirrors. I don't know if that's noteworthy. Oh. No. Still got my bug. Let's move on. What's worth grabbing in here anyway? I think that's all we really need to grab, but I will spend some time poking around. Oh, no, I saw that. There was a token. Yep, that. After saying I'm not going to spend time collecting tokens, what am I doing? Fire, nope. Alright. One more check on the bug and let's get out of here. No, I said, get out of here. Still got the bug, yes we do. Alright, what's after Full Moon Cafe? Alright, let's find the kid. I think there's something interesting inside of this fountain. Oh. Another peek at what's ahead. Another trash can portal, don't need that. You might want to watch this though.
Oh, hello! And welcome to Werewolf Village. Did you know that werewolf, spelled backwards, is werewolf? Well, now you do. While here at HorrorLand, be sure to visit our fabulous Opportunity Knocks gift shop, conveniently located in HorrorLand Plaza. Ooh, scary. Whether you select a mummy's hand back scratcher, werewolf wine glasses that really whine,
Hi, I'm a cop. Fill me up.
or any of our other countless souvenirs, you're sure to take home a keepsake you'll treasure forever.
If you live that long,
Ray.
There you go. Fun little, I'll call them Beetlejuice-esque snippets of like creepy stuff. And a map. So here, yeah, we're starting in Werewolf Village. We'll be wandering into the HorrorLand Plaza and then the Bat Barn. And then crossing over to the Valley of the Lost Kings. Then going back, hanging out. Actually, we'll be hanging out here for quite a while, back and forth. But eventually we'll get into this vampire village, Dracula's castle, and then back over this way to the Monster Mall. So, it's a nice little preview of what's to come. Alright.
Yeah, I saw that the last time we were here. It tells you stuff about HorrorLand. You know, like if you don't know where to go.
So that's their hint system. Let's give it a token and see what it says.
HorrorLand, HorrorLand, tricks up our sleeves. Many have entered. Nobody leaves.
Well, there you go. That's, the riddles are meant to be gameplay hints, but that was a really poor hint. Alright, where's Lizzie?
I have a really bad feeling about this.
Is that right? What is this spot? Oh, yeah. I think there I would feed it the bug, but I'm not gonna. I'd rather hang on to it.
This can't be good.
Alright, so yeah, they're kind of stuck. Here is... Actually, yeah, this whole village, if you haven't noticed, is a miniature, right? Like, right away when I was playing this, I noticed, like, this looks too good. Like, it's not hand-painted. There's no way any of this is CG. So all of this is just a miniature set that was, you know, filmed and photographed and used in the game, which is really impressive to me. I appreciate again, that production value in doing that. What else can we do here? We can go poke at the fire department. Alright, and that's it. So now we're going to be bailing over to HorrorLand Plaza. This is conspicuously blocked, but we will be coming back here. What else is there? The kids, yeah, usually you're never alone. That's an interesting part of the game too, is every scene you're in, one of the kids will always be with you. I guess just so you're not like alone in this creepy environment. And here we go. So we're in HorrorLand Plaza now. Next area. Let's see. There's a little Easter egg here apparently that I wanted to check out if I can get it to work. If you click on the moon and then click on the brown patch next to a tree, you see snowmen? Did you see anything? I didn't see it. Look at that. The internet failing me. Oh, the Doom slide. We don't want to go there yet. We'll be there later. The Doom slide. Actually, I haven't noted that either, that this does not exactly follow the book. Like, there are supposed to be these characters named horrors with horns wandering around, but I mean, you're noticing here. There's barely anyone. The Doom slide is from the book. HorrorLand Plaza, I don't think is from the book. Werewolf Village is. So, some elements from the book, some that are new. Oh, I'm really annoyed. I can't do this snowman thing. Or maybe there's a different... No, it's not gonna happen. Alright, let's watch this.
Hello, and welcome to HorrorLand Plaza. Come closer, come closer. Not that close. I'm not a Who concert. Did you know that it takes over 743 specially bred rat hairs just to make one of our I can't believe it's not coconut macaroons? Mmm, yummy. During your visit, be sure to set aside plenty of time to explore all of our unique exhibits and dazzling informational videos. Oh, stick your neck out at Gettin Plaza. Oh, yeah, right, Marie Antoinette. And learn about the founder of HorrorLand. The nicest, nastiest, sweetest, most vicious you'd never want to meet. I already love him.
Very not helpful at all, I don't think. Actually, no, that I lie. There was some hints there about, like, yeah, go, like, the museum's gonna have some stuff. Right. So Snowman Easter egg has disappointed us. What else can we do? Alright, we're gonna pick up something on the floor here. Oh, there it is. The hammer. Like any adventure game, items are not explained. You don't know what the hammer does until you kind of poke around, so we'll find that out as we go. Click on that, does nothing. Hey. Alright. So now we're going to go to the theater, right here. Oh, card number 3. Let me see if the hints are working now. They should. There it is. So there's a hint about a burning village. The werewolf, a hint about, well, a werewolf, as we'll find out soon. Here's a hint about some security lasers. Keep an eye out for that. And here's a reminder that we have 28 out of 777 tokens. Way too many. Let's watch this. If you don't know, you're going to see it in a moment. This is apparently the trailer for a movie called Plan 9 from Outer Space. Kind of a classic, schlocky B-movie, low-budget thing from like the 40s or 50s, directed by Ed Wood. And is, I believe, public domain. Meaning nobody legally owns this anymore. You can use it for anything you want. Which I learned because there's a game called... oh, what is it called? Totally blanking on the game, but you play as an alien in an open, sort of open world environment, and you kill humans or abduct them or something. And that game features the entire movie Plan 9 from Outer Space in the game. You unlock it in a menu, and you can watch the whole thing. And I think they did that because it's public domain. They can just do whatever they want with it, and that's the same case here. I think they featured this trailer because it was like, well, it's kind of a well-known horror movie, and this would be free to use, so why not? And that's it. It's just that trailer looping over and over, so... That's it for the theater. Let me see what else. Yeah, there's something else there. Alright, so we're going over to the museum. Alright, well, there's a lot to see. We're going to start here from the left of the exit. So if you need the names for things, that room we were in is called the Wolf Den over in Werewolf Village. This does nothing. Here's a look ahead at the Vampire Village, which is a later area of the game. Here we have a lot of stuff. Bucket with the token. You can pick up a mop for some reason. That is a trash can portal, which, again, we're not going back to that underground space. Here we have a fun guillotine that we can actually use to behead the mob. So now we have a stick. All right, let's take the stick. Here we have a couple of interesting things. This is not in the original HorrorLand book, but apparently this character here is a founder of the park. Let's hear a little bit from him.
You know, Horrorland may seem like a scary, foreboding place. Because it is! Oh, for me, waking each noon to the tortured screams of terrified tots, to see children crying hysterically in fear, to hear their unbridled shrieks. What could possibly be more fun? Shortly after finishing Horrorland, I realized I didn't want to live here alone. So I created my cosmic monster attractor. Soon, every werewolf, vampire, mummy, and dispirited spirit came spiraling through the stratosphere to join me.
Okay. There's more to each video, but so this guy Madison Storm, that's a name, created this park to attract monsters to scare children, which fits with the book. The book is all about, obviously, being a scary park that scares kids for reasons of reality television. If you want to know more about that, you just go read the book. But yeah, it is quite a twist in that ending. All right, we're taking the mop stick. We're gonna prop up this glass that would shut down on us otherwise, and I'm gonna go ahead and steal some stuff. Some vampire eyewear. All right, so we're collecting some things here. We're getting some puzzle elements out of the way. Here's a look at Dracula's castle, which will come up later. Here's a look at that machine he talked about, the monster attractor. That'll also come up later. And then finally, we come up to the security lasers. If you recall, there was a hint earlier about dealing with this. The solution to dealing with it is put some hip shades on these statues, and we can collect this mysterious stone. Notice the Egyptian theme. That'll come up later as well. All right, well, that's it. That's it for the museum. So we grabbed all the stuff. Now we're going to go back from whence we came to Werewolf Village. That's this way.
What's that? Did you hear that? Oh no! Werewolf Village is on fire! Luke and Clay, we've got to get... What if they're still in the stocks? The whole place could be burning up. Come on!
I don't want to judge, but she just bailed.
I mean, if anything happens to him, it can't. It won't. I've got to get to him. I've got to save him. Clay too. They're my responsibility.
I like that delivery. Responsibility.
I gotta get in there. I've got to rescue them.
Okay, well, I was just bashing her for not looking after her brother and their friend, but she went for it. Hey, there you go. Showtime's for the fire show. Hey, we showed up just in time. Oh, look at that. The closed thing is now open. Oh, here's something I can try, which I hadn't tried before. Let's see, how do we do it? Take the hammer. A little whack a worm. And that's it. That's just a little Easter egg that did work out, unlike those sketchy snowmen. All right, so here we got to turn these valves in a certain order, which is this one, and that one. So basically, you just have to figure out the order in which to turn them to not die, so to not poison yourself, but also turn off the natural gas feeding the fire. And that's it. All right, let's go find the kids. Oh, no longer at the stocks. So if we go toward the plaza here. Werewolf's no longer in the cage. Not a good sign. Let's see. Let's go into the Ye Old Butcher Shop. Do I need more steak? No, I'm gonna leave the steak. Oh, that cannot be a good sound. Good sound. Sound. Go. Boom.
Thank you. Oh, wow. Thank you. I was freezing in there. It was that creepy, slobbering werewolf that stuffed me in there. Who knows? If you hadn't showed up, no, I would have been. Oh, God. Of course, when I got to the stocks, the boys weren't there. This place is really starting to get on my nerves. As scary as this place was last time, it's 10 times more scarier at night. Like the werewolf. That was no guy in a costume. But you're not gonna limp out on me, right? Because you see, I set this trap. What? Don't give me that look, it'll work. Because you're gonna help me. See, once we find the werewolf again, what you gotta do to help trap him is...
Oh, here we go. This is all a cutscene, by the way. I can't. That's not me moving. We'll move shortly, but not yet.
Run to
Yeah,
me.
that was.
All right.
So here she
This
has
way.
a phrase, and you're supposed to know.
All right.
You're supposed to figure out what each phrase means.
Run to me.
That's straight ahead.
All right.
Over here.
Hey, over here. Dive off the path. Do it.
Yeah, look, that's been all live action too. Which maybe that's not as impressive to some players, but I appreciate it. Oh. Alright, we are gonna yoink this necklace around the guy's neck, or werewolf's neck. Notice how that Egyptian stone combined with the hand. Let's note that for later. Alright, what's left to do here? I think we're good. Oh! Don't even turn back toward the werewolf. Again, what does it do? There's no penalty. Like, getting hit like that just means, like, don't do that. Or rather, you're blocked. Don't go in that direction. Alright, anything else to do? Just talk to Lizzie.
All right. So it didn't go as I planned. But you're alive, aren't you? Come on, this way. It's a shortcut to HorrorLand Plaza.
I don't even want to think about what will happen if my parents get home before us. But I know Mom and Dad will freak it big time, and no matter what, I'm the one who'll get blamed. By the way, I saw...
Lizzie, no! There you go. And that's the setup really throughout the game, where you're with a kid, the kid's gone, you have to go find the kid again, and then they disappear, and you have to find a different kid, and a lot of kids getting, oh, what do we have here? Who's this?
Psst, over here. Stump is me. Bad at being bad. Is that good? Shouldn't be helping. Can't help it. Don't tell. Trouble. Friends? Maybe? Good. Looking for Luke? Among kings, no crowns, under Triangle's lodge, huge lodge. Clay? Elsewhere, maybe. Understand? Good, good. Must go. Follow? Don't follow Stump. Could be bad. Or not. Stump is me, and Stump I do sometimes. Or not.
Thank you, Stump, for that hint, I think. But there... Oh, what's this? I have snatched the sniveling Morris girl so that she may suffer the magnificent misfortune of my truly transforming, delightfully deforming experiment. A veritable vortex of vampire bats couldn't stop me, and certainly not you. Madison Storm. So that founder guy that we met at the museum, in the museum video, he's got Lizzie. He's doing something. So, alright, but we got a hint from Stump about what is next. And that is the Valley of the Lost Kings. Well, let's go this way. Look at some of the visuals in the game. Like, I don't know, this to me is a pretty gnarly piece of art. Like a rusty, slimy skeleton pointing the way. It's pretty good. Alright, the Bat Barn. That is... oh, token. The Bat Barn is from the books as well. It's just a barn full of bats that they have to walk through at some point. We've got these pumpkins. Let's see if we can get a hint. No hint. But we have these pumpkins. Let's click on them.
Mid. Skak, 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 skak. Da.
We got a bunch of pumpkins saying stuff, and we have to make them say a certain phrase that, if you're a Goosebumps fan, would make sense to you. If you're not, good luck. But I know what it is, so let's see.
Skak, 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 crow, skak, crow, skak, crow,
Okay, you get it.
Crow, skak, crow, walks, skak, crow, walks, skak, crow, walks, dead, skak, crow, walks, dead, skak, crow, walks, dead, skak, crow, walks, at midnight. The scarecrow walks at midnight.
I walk once more to open the door of the old barn teeming with bats. Don't try to hide by not coming inside. I insist you must. And that's that.
Yeah, Scarecrow Walks at Midnight is one of the books from the original series featuring, surprise, scarecrows walking at midnight. Alright, so now it's on to the Bat Barn. So now we get a replay of basically what happens when the kids go in here in the book. One day at HorrorLand. A bit dark, a bit spooky, but if you give it a moment, I think. Oh, interesting. I didn't think I had to interact with anything, but maybe I do. Alright, well, I'm just going to spam click the whole environment. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's weird because I don't know that I clicked on anything to cause that. But, all right, so we have, there we go. So we have a lit doorway, and we have this trash can. And look at that. Got ourselves a new card. It should be 4. Yep. So that's a hint about something coming up with Lizzie. Do we want to save? Nah. Let's continue. Again, that trash can is a portal to the underground, which I don't need. So otherwise, let's just go. And that's it for the Bat Barn anyway. So here we're at a new junction. That way to the Vampire Village. This way to the Valley of the Lost Kings. That's where we want to be. And I think that's it. I'll click around a bit, but I don't think there's anything else to check out here. No, there's not. We can try going this way, but we've got a pretty roughly rendered tennis zombie who will not let us pass. Oh, did you see that though? Watch, one more. There you go. So, in terms of having to collect all these tokens, there are situations where you can lose tokens by getting attacked. And that is why the tokens are BS. Because if you could collect them and keep them, fine, but the fact that you lose them, I don't appreciate. So anyway, we cannot go toward Vampire Village. Instead, we're going to go this way. If you recall from the map, this means we're going kind of on this weird path across a river, which is what this is, onto this patch of land that is Egypt, apparently. Alright, so we're in the Valley of the Lost Kings. What are we doing here? We are... we can poke around a little bit. Not as exciting as the other areas, I think. Well, let's see what this is. Not even a video for Valley of the Lost Kings. The poor kings get nothing. So at least we know where we are. So we went from the village, Werewolf Village, HorrorLand Plaza, over to Bat Barn, and then from Bat Barn we crossed along this path, I guess. Across Devil's Island, and now we're here. Another trash can we don't need. Yeah, you can't even really go and zoom in on any of this unless you go that way. Right, so what we're doing here is we're taking the creepy hand with stone, popping it in there, and then using it on here. Very non-specific about why we have to be cautious here. I feel like this scene came from somebody who rode the Indiana Jones ride at Disneyland and thought, hey, let's take that. That's cool. Okay, so we're inside this. What do we have to do here? Oh, yeah. Well, first let's put this back in the backpack. Here we want the humans. That's what I remember. So, alright. That's one. There you go. Go team humans. Alright. So now we have a couple of doorways. Nothing there. Here we have, I guess, an Egyptian toilet. Another portal. Or, no, trash can. They're not toilets. Another card, that makes 5. Right. What is this hint about? A hint about putting hieroglyphs in the right order. The answer is written in stone. Right, continue. I think that's a hint for what's about to happen. Right, that's card number 5. Now we go in here. Okay, sealed in a ancient chamber. That's never a good thing to experience. I have not pointed out yet, though it's been obvious this whole time, another big difference with this game and the environments. You know, most games of this kind, like Myst, it's just a flat background, right? So this would be the only view available. Then maybe you click left and you'd switch to another flat view. For this game, they incorporated a 360-degree view, which I think is really neat because I hadn't seen this before in this kind of game. And again, it speaks to the kind of production value. They took the extra steps to make it a little nicer of an experience. All right, let's go. So, again, speaking of Indiana Jones, another hint about what happened to the last person who came in here. We're going to take this whip, drop it in there. Here's a hint about what to do, which is we have to set up these 4 pillars with the same design that you see down there. Drop this in there. Drop this, where? Here? Yeah. Let's drop this one right there. Eyeball the second from the top. Red circle goes on the top there. Where else am I missing one of these? Third from the top. Goes there. Oh, where's the red dot? Let's grab one of those. I said, grab one. Red dot goes there. This equal sign thing down there. Another red dot. Where? Oh. There we go. The frame rate on some of these animations might be a little stomach churning for some folks. Alright, so we did that. We did the columns, we did the... And now we're in the next room with some sarcophagi. Oh, and some tokens. Card number 6. Let's take a look at that. This one. Having trouble with a mummy. You need a guiding light to bring down the house. That's definitely a hint about what's about to happen. Alright, so we opened that one. We picked up a crowbar. Ancient Egyptian crowbar. And we're going to open this up.
It's about time somebody got me out of there. I was getting scared in that box. I'm not scared because I'm a chicken. Just scared I was going to become a permanent loop in the box for life. I don't know who's in charge of this place, but it's not funny anymore. See, it was those gross whores who dragged me and Clay through the stocks. They dragged us through some underground tunnels. I have no idea where Clay ended up, but wherever he is, you can bet he's not happy. See, when the whores were trying to put these bandages on me, I'm like kicking and screaming. I finally managed to pinch one of them. Sucker that's deflated like a helium balloon. Of course, I don't see my useless sister. What'd you do? Did you? Save your breath, I know how she is. Hey, what do you think the deal is with that picture on the wall? It's like some kind of an ancient ceremony.
Lots of art on the walls, but let's pick this one.
Come on, we better go find poor Clay. You know how he gets.
Do I? Alright. Let's go.
Move it! What do you want to do? Die of old age in this place?
Okay. Thank you, I guess. Alright. Well, now we're being chased by a freaky crawling mummy. We're just gonna run. Going back to the topic of these tokens and how much of a pain it must be to try to get them all. Here's another case where you're being chased, you're gonna get attacked, possibly lose tokens, and you're supposed to go through that whole maze and try to find all the tokens.
Trapped! That's the mummy! He's trying to get in! Do something! What are we gonna do? Grab a torch! A torch! Aren't mummies supposed to be afraid of fire? Ah! He's got me! His rings paralyzed me! You gotta do something!
We're fighting. Oh,
Way to go! Get him!
did you see that?
Do it again!
I got hit, and I lost a token. This is weird. The mummy just constantly...
To the fire pit!
Oh.
Light it again! Hurry!
Well,
get
first of
over
all,
there.
the mummy's trying to put out the fire because you're attacking it. But it'll also start to hover to the left like that in a weird way.
Light it again! Hurry! Get over there!
So basically, what you're meant to do is just constantly be on the attack so that it never has a chance to put out your fire like that.
Light it again! Hurry! Get over there! To the fire pit! Light it again! Hurry! Get over there!
Wow.
See that? That column moved!
Aminra, Akugimak, Abinat Petra, Kana Atkal.
Oh. He does not sound happy. Don't mind if I do. Thank you, sir. Alright, mummy's down. Now, I think we go talk to Luke.
Whoa! Did you believe that? Is this a dream? That ring is like a megawatt super zap.
You. I like that hand icon. Hey. Anyway, he's gonna sit there frozen again, and we're gonna get out of here. Alright, I think we're back where we entered. He's still shocked. In shock, probably. Or should be, after all the events we've witnessed here. Alright, we're bailing. We're done with the Valley of the Lost Kings. We're gonna go back to the Bat Barn. Alright, so here's something I'm gonna do, even though I'm not gonna actually do anything with it. We're gonna try to go this way. Wake up that tennis zombie. And then we're gonna whip the heck out of that zombie. See ya, bud. So this would take us to the vampire village, but I want to take you the other way. There's 2 ways to get there. In fact, different areas have that too, like well, I'll show you. Well, let's go back to the Bat Barn.
Bat Barn? No thanks.
Yes.
I mean, please, feel free to go in there if you want to. There's a good chance you'll even find the others. But me, the only place I like to find bats is on a baseball field. Catch you later, okay?
Okay, so he's bailing. Thanks for nothing, kid. But yeah, we're going back toward the plaza because there's something I want to show you. Or rather, something you saw already, but I skipped. No, not. Oh, ooh. Hey, I saw that though. Might as well. I lost a few fighting the mummy. Quite a few. But yeah, we skipped the... hold on, I'm just making sure there's nothing else before I move on here. But no, I don't think so. We read the note. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, before we skipped the Doom slide. And that is a horror.
Take a chance. I will. I do. Worst thing that could happen is you'll end up sliding to your doom.
Man, that background music, that was not it. That was just my actual chair squeaking. That background sound, I wanted to say, is really intense. That like rumble throughout the game. Alright, so here we are. This is the Doom slide. So this is in the book, One Day in Horrorland. And the idea is if you pick the wrong slide, you're going to slide forever. And you're doomed. So most of these slides just take you back to HorrorLand Plaza. Slide number 8 is a shortcut to the Valley of the Pyramid, where we just were. And if you had the hammer, you can see the boards are broken, but if you have the hammer or the crowbar, the boards, so these boards block you from using the slides until you have one of those 2 items, and then they're open. So yeah, slide number 8 will take you to the Valley of the Lost Kings if you wanted a shortcut there. And slide number 10 will take us to where we are meant to go next. In very rough CG. It's got to be like, what, 320 by 240 or something? And obviously I blow it up to full 1080p, but yeah, it looks rough. Oh, so yeah, like I said, if you're playing the physical version, you'd have to swap out the disc here, but if you are playing the, oh, 1 second. I'm just making sure I did everything here. Yeah, I did. So anyway, yeah, once you get to this point, you would get prompted for a disc switch. If you're playing the version that I recommended in the beginning of this video, then it's a much easier process here because it's all digital. There you go. So I virtually switched the disc and continued. So now we're on disc 2. Hey, here he is. So that's why this kid bailed, because you were, if you could, you were meant to follow the Vampire Village path, which would lead you here. And then if we do this, we get a little visit from our buddy.
Rain, shine, sunshine bright. Chemist shop books to study. Good, good. Must I spell it out? Think not. Go, make it glow. Got it?
So, the ring we picked up, he gave us a pretty strong hint that we got to make it glow. So that is our task here in the Vampire Village. I guess that's one of the things I'll point out as a negative is how empty all these environments are. Like there's nothing. It looks pretty. Again, this is also very clearly a miniature set they built and photographed. It just looks really good. This is just not CG, right? Like, you could probably achieve it, but there's just a certain, I don't know, textural element, lighting element that CG would be tough to pull off, and certainly with 90s CG. Maybe now we could. But yeah, here we are. Can we talk to Luke? I think I tried already. No, cannot talk to him. So, Vampire Village, what are we up to? I'm just checking my notes. Can we go in here? No, cannot go in there. No. Here we can, but we don't want to. Not yet. Let's step into the main plaza. Here, I think we have a neat little... Not neat, I don't know if it's neat, but... if you want a graffito tag, Dracula's property. In sky blue paint? Why isn't it red? But okay. Drac? I'm gonna be mean. There's graffiti. Drac. Dro. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Drac sucks. Would have been much cooler if it actually stayed on the wall, but it does not. What if we click on this moon? Anything? Nothing. But yeah, we can click on stuff. Here's a trash can. Portal that I don't need. Something there we don't need. That's the room we were just in. I don't need to be in there yet. Oh, here goes one of these.
Again! Glad to see you made it to the dark and eerie Vampire Village, home to that world-famous neck-nipper, Count Dracula. His fangs cannot harm me. No! Did you know that as blind as a bat is no longer an accepted cliche? Yeah! The SPCBV, Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Bats and Vampires, prefers as sight-impaired as a night-flying mammal with 4 limbs modified to form wings. Oh, that's better. Hey, before departing our park, be sure to stop at our monster zoo, housing millions and billions of fantabulous exhibits, now housing the 2-headed Morastretch. I know you're going to want to check it out. Oh, wouldn't you just love to be me? Supper.
I don't think they lean into the camp. I mean, the performers, you know, like Madison Storm and this character, they lean into the camp, but you know, I think actually I guess we'll see a bit more of that as we get into Dracula's castle. But yeah, so again, the live action segments of the game with the actors, I think they did a good job. It's all funny horror stuff. Very much in the style of the 90s. If you grew up on 90s media, that kind of thing is very familiar. It reminds me of the Ernest show. I don't know if you all know Ernest, played by Jim Ward? I don't know if I don't want to say his name wrong. Well, there's the character of Ernest. He had a TV show, and it was this vibe. Very campy, goofy sort of thing. Alright, so we're in Vampire Village. We've got some details. Where are we going? Oh, I know where we are. We're going here. Oh no. I gotta get the token. See a token, take a token. Here we have a very tired Luke, just kind of like, or depressed Luke maybe. Then if we turn this way, we got a big old ray gun.
Hey, wonder what this stuff's for. It's about time you got here. Lizzie? Is that you? No, it's a big talking noodle. Of course it's me. I always said she was nothing but a slimy girl. Can you please save the hilarious insults till later? I am not having a very good time here. Well, what do you want us to do about it? Look, all I know is Madison Storm used the junk in those bottles to turn me into, well, whatever I am. Okay, all right. So what we gotta use is the same stuff he did to undo what he did. You were always good in chemistry. Why don't you try? Just be really careful.
I was. And if you need the reminder, again, we're in the role of a kid from their neighborhood who's their friend and who came along on this wacky journey. Okay, so the objective is to turn Lizzie back to a human being using combinations of these chemicals and this switch. So you can try any one of them. I don't think there's any consequence. Let's try that. See what it does.
Uh-oh. What's going on? Where's my body? And why do I suddenly smell like Halloween? Well, let me put it this way. You know how Dad likes to call you Pumpkin? Maybe we better try again.
Okay, let's try all red. Or not. Oh, back to worm. Back to pumpkin. Huh. I thought there was more I could... Let me think. Let me consider my combos. Oh. So if I do red, blue, green... Did I do green, blue, blue? I don't know if I did.
Oh no. This is really getting hairy.
Unfortunately, so are you.
Alright, well, you get the gag here. If you keep messing up, she keeps getting turned into weird things. But let's do the proper thing. And I think we have a card that hints about how to complete this. Which one was it? This one? Yeah, I think this one is supposed to give you a hint. Think of Madison Storm's cold, cold heart. So all I could think there is maybe you're meant to go back to the museum and look at like the Madison Storm video and maybe something reveals itself. I don't know. But I just think this is the solution. So let's do it.
Is it true? Am I really me? We did it! We actually did it! I'm excited, Norma! I wouldn't go that far. Okay, now that you're back to your old self, you gotta help me track down Clay. See, we got this ring, the Ring of Ra, from this freaky mummy in the Valley of the Lost Kings. Anyways, this ring has these powers. Or at least it did until it went black again. So if we can use this ring to find Clay, then maybe we can use it to track down Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad? And then... What are you talking about? They're here too, didn't you know? Or at least we think they are. See, a whore handed me Dad's wallet, and we saw a bracelet in the pawn shop that looks exactly like Mom's. But you haven't actually seen them, have you? Do you think they're in some kind of danger? Probably, and it's all up to us. And I have a feeling we're running out of time. Hey, what's that over there? Come on.
What? Do you Huh. Well, first of all, I don't recall there being a pawn shop. There might have been one in the HorrorLand Plaza. But it sounds like we were supposed to find a hint about the parents being here, which I don't think I have personally witnessed. Alright, so they said, hey, look over there, and now we're looking at books. I can show you some of the books. This story is very upsetting to me. It's about, I am the biggest short guy you ever saw. Once in the land of short guys, the biggest short guy was in charge. Oh yeah, I'm the biggest short guy you ever saw. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, the shortest big guy was banished from the big guy land for being the shortest. He wandered far away until he came upon the land of short guys. The sight of smushed short guys made him queasy. That's really disturbing. He sought out the perpetrator and defeated the biggest short guy in a duel. And so the shortest big guy lived happily ever after, reigning peacefully over the assorted short guys. That is a really messed up story. Here we have something called Tall Tales, which is really just some really weird art. About long tails? Oh, long tails. I was slow on the uptake there. Here is a game of Hangman. And having already, well, I can show you. So there you go. You get one wrong and then you start to fill in the picture and eventually you lose. But we don't have to lose because I know what this wants me to spell out. Cantan Chris Curmudgeon. Yeah. Gargantuan. Garg. O. And obviously, if you want a hint, you can just get a wrong answer. It'll start to show you the picture and you can get an idea of what they're trying to show you. This art is all very interesting. It's all... like, I wonder who drew all the images we've been seeing in these books. Alright, this one is a long one. Somebody being extra. Extraordinary. Extraordinary, extraterrestrial. Extraterrestrial.
It's only a wild hunch, but why don't you check out the cookbook?
So yeah, they tell you, hey, check out the cookbook, but none of these things are labeled in any helpful way. And that just keeps going. More tales. Yeah, so here's the more detailed version of the map of the underground. You can see how crazy it is, and how many beasts you have to run into to try to navigate the space, but also the portals. So I guess, yeah, if you want shortcuts between places, like this one's pretty easy, right? You can just cut straight from HorrorLand Plaza to Vampire Village. It's pretty helpful. And here we have more of that. So again, to get all the tokens, you're meant to wander around all of these labyrinths in the underground, collecting all of them, which to me is nuts. That is so much. But there you go. So if you wanted more info, more about that, there it is. Completely useless. Like, I don't know what you're supposed to do to fight those bats off, but they just cost me more tokens. Those books do nothing. These books do nothing. And finally, we have the cookbook.
Whoa, look at that! It's just like the picture on the pyramid wall. I bet we need to do what they're doing.
So that's our hint about where we're supposed to go. Or rather, what we're going to do shortly. So, alright, we got that hint. Now we're going to zip back here. Back to this room. So the hint was about getting the ring into the fire. So we're going to grab these tongs. We're going to grab the ring. Combine it with the tongs. And then zoom in on this fire here. And pop it in.
Ooh, is everybody ready for me to cast the spell?
Luke, for once in your life, could you quit goofing off? This will never work unless we take it seriously.
Okay. Here we go. Amin Ra, Ku, Kem, Ak, Abinut. Abinut. They must be talking about you, Lizzie. I be nut.
Stop it, Luke! Mom and Dad could be in serious trouble, okay? We're doing this so we have a chance to save them.
All right, I'm sorry. Just that these words are so stupid. All right, I'm calm. Ba-oo, mandatata, ya-oo.
Did you guys see that? Keep reading, keep reading!
Tabit, at Kana, at Koo.
Right. Now what are we supposed to do?
Alright, so we got this ring, and now we can move along. Stash that. The reason for having to do this, or wanting to do this with the ring, will be evident in a moment. Go this way. Can we do anything with the church? Nope, just another cheap bat attack. Now we're gonna go this way. Before we go that way, we're gonna turn. Here we go. So, well, first of all, there's a card here, so we're gonna take the card. That should be card number 7. Let's make sure. Yeah, 3, 5, 6, 7. The Count's lady will keep you traveling in circles until she gets her rest. So, another hint about what's coming up. But here we have if you recall, way back in the Wolf Den, we grabbed a pin number off the fridge. We punch it in here. A completely random game of battle tanks. Which, I don't know what the name of the actual game is, but I know this is a throwback to some game from the 80s, I guess, like a vector tank combat game. But yeah, no real score, you're just kind of wandering around as a tank, shooting other tanks, and that's it. So, but it's a full-on playable minigame, so that's pretty cool. Alright, so we did that, we got the card. I think all that's left is to deal with this guy.
Whoa, freaky.
Ah! Oh, where is it? Come back, come back! Oh, I need you! Oh!
Step away, sir. What are you doing? Makes me very uncomfortable. It's like, just back it
If I
up.
had known you were coming, I'd have sent a spider for you.
No thanks. Excuse us for bothering you, sir, but we really need to find our parents and our friend Clay. And since we checked pretty much everywhere else, we're wondering maybe if they were in the castle.
In a castle? You could almost count on it.
Let's go.
May I
Don't.
see your invitation?
Our invitation, buddy. You wanted an invitation? Here you go.
Hey, what are you doing? You have to leave the ring with me. Put me down. Put me down. You're supposed to leave the ring with me.
Finish him. Clay, come on, we gotta get going. We gotta go find Mom, Dad, and Clay.
Here we get another nice sort of zoom in onto another miniature set. All right, there you go. We're in Dracula's castle. And we're looking for Clay, remember, so we're still looking for kids. We've got 2 out of 3. It is a seemingly big space with a lot to do, but I think it's just tokens. Like you can do something like click on this guy. See, and this one doesn't even give a token, so that's really about it. But before we go anywhere else, let's go turn this way and open this door. How about we check out what's for dinner?
Hey, did you see that? He blinked. Get me out of here now! This whole place is crawling with vampires. Vampires? You're kidding, right? No. Don't I wish? Come on, what are we waiting for? Let's bolt! In case you didn't guess, Brainiac, I'm trapped. How are we supposed to open this thing? There's a handle that fits into the slot on the side. The only problem is the head vampire locked me and took it with him. And I gotta tell you, it's really getting hot in here. Okay, let's not panic. Let's think of something. Hopefully, like now. Are you sure you wouldn't rather quit while you're ahead? What happened to you taking things more seriously? Okay. You're right. Serious. I know. How about I stay here to protect Clay while you guys go track down the handle? Look. Hey, maybe she can lead us to the guy we need.
All right, so we're gonna go chase down some creepy lady. Let's go. There goes that rumbling sound, background sound again. I don't like it. It's too intense.
I just got a brilliant idea. Stand guard while I put this on.
Hey, who are you? And what do you do with that cape? It's mine! Are you an imbecile? It's too big for you. What are you trying to do, huh? I am the Count's tonight. Me!
still happening. Alright, fine, whatever. So now we have a vampire lady chasing the child. And guess what we have to do? We got a hint about this earlier. Oh. We did it.
Now quick, put this on. What do you mean, no? You have to do it. Come on, have I ever steered you wrong? Okay, maybe once or twice, but this time, I think I know what I'm doing.
Alright, so we're the jester.
Give me the rings, so once I use it to hypnotize him, you can start checking his pockets for that handle.
Whoa, why does she get the power ring? Alright, let's go through the doorway. Here it is.
Come on.
Here we go. This is the big star moment. Jeff freaking Goldblum.
Beauty. My beauty. Don't hide your eyes. Losing Morris.
How do you know my name?
Power. It's what I have. It's what I am. That pathetic Madison Storm thinks he runs this place, but that's just because that's what I allow him to think. See? Now listen. You and I are gonna dance.
Hold on.
Wait a minute. Are we gonna dance? Lizzie. Lizzie.
I'm a little bit uncomfortable with this situation.
You can start checking his pockets for that handle.
Oh, okay. Can do. This whole sequence is really weird. You'll see. I mean, you're seeing it. Right. So this zoom thing will continue to happen, and I have to just click on him. Hey, there we go. That would be card number 8. Fang paste. I mean, it looks like they're having a good old time. Give it over. Got it. Pokey, pokey, pokey. Hey, there we go. Oh, look at that. Jeff Goldblum is defeated.
That was close.
you're back. Quick, grab the handle so we can open the box.
Yeah, can do. Well, as soon as the game... That's me? Okay, there we are. Grab the handle, hit the box, do the thing, turn the thing. Alright, so here we have a pretty classic puzzle of like... what is it? It's somebody trying to cross a river, and they have a wolf and a goat and a rabbit or something. No, like a wolf, a goat. No, a wolf, rabbit, and a carrot. And anyway, you have to click these things in a certain way. So, bat, werewolf, bat. And the idea is you can't leave one next to the other for too long, because then it'll eat it. So werewolf eats bat, bat eats roach. But I solved it, so we're all good.
All right, he's free. Yes, let's get out of. I'm not even gonna ask what you're wearing. Yes. Hey, did you guys take care of Dracula? Yeah. Well, we thought we did. But well, he kind of just disappeared. We gotta get out of here anyways. Let's go.
That's going to be it for the castle.
Come on, hurry up. Hate to say it, guys, but the Coffin Ride gotta be our quickest way out of here. No, not for me. Last time was bad enough. Oh, yeah? Well, it's either that or we're gonna have to stay and deal with...
Uh-oh. Yeah, he looks pretty miffed. So this sequence is weird. Like, you saw the tokens, but if you try to collect them, I think he grabs you. So, again, there's no point in trying.
Wait a second. I don't have to be afraid of him. I still got the Ring of Ra.
Butterfingers Lizzie. I guess I could have tried to grab a token, but whatever. Hey, here we go. Coffin Ride. Ready to roll. Or float.
Watch out, Luke. I'm just goofing. Wait a sec. Did any of you guys see that movie about Madison's cosmic monster attractor in the museum? That's where he gets all of his mummies and his werewolves and stuff. It's like this big giant vacuum cleaner that sucks in freaks from all over the universe. Hey, but that's how we got Mom and Dad here. Why? What would he want them for? Unless we hurry and find them, we're never gonna figure that out. What are we waiting for? Everybody grab a box and let's go! Come on, so we don't get separated.
Alright, well, there they go. I guess I have to join them. So here you're given the option to turn around and look at stuff, but there's really no point. Can't go back. There might be tokens, I guess. Or not even that. But yeah, all you can do here is click on the coffin and get in. That annoying background ambient sound is finally stopped. It was awful. Alright. So, for players who are trying to get through this, when you see that cockroach pop up here, if you don't already have one, grab it. Because you will absolutely need a cockroach item in your inventory right after this sequence. So, reminder of that. Oh, see, this sucks too. So this gets more and more challenging, and every hit from a spider subtracts one token. So, again, I don't know how you're supposed to actually collect 777 tokens when... I mean, I guess if you're good, you can do this flawlessly, but I'm not good. Woof. I'm real bad at this. There you go. So the Coffin Ride is also from the original book.
I'm glad that's over. Can't wait to see what they got planned for us next.
But this is new.
Can't wait to find the exit sign.
This whole temple zoo thing. But yeah, the scare from the Coffin Ride in the book is that, you know, they hop in and it closes on them, and then they get surrounded by bugs, and they think they're gonna stay there forever. All right, so we're at the zoo. First thing I'm gonna do is collect a card. That was number 9. All right, that was the shrunken head. You'll need to go fishing for clues. Yep, that's a clue about fishing. So first things first is we have to turn on the power here. So let's go here. Oh, let's also collect this ticket. For the zoo, let's click on this panel. Get the power started. Alright, they want a ticket. There you go. Rare environment where the camera doesn't turn all the way. But, I mean, we're just going forward from this point, so it's fine. Yep, we're going in. Alright, so, all 4 of us are inside the zoo now. A bunch of different corridors. Let's go see what's behind them. Or through them.
Yuck, that's about the ugliest thing I've ever seen. Well, hate to say it, Lizzie, it's not a cage. It's a mirror.
So there you go, just some abominations of nature. So they're ticklish, and if you click on the left one, you can grab that magnet while it's laughing. So that's one thing we need to do. Then we need to go through here.
I don't even like regular sized spiders. But these, I'm gonna be having nightmares for months.
Yeah, so here you need the bug. I don't know what happens if you get here and you don't have the bug. No idea. Yeah, look at that. Magnet and string combined. Very good. And the token thing really bothers me. I feel like I'm going to end up using Cheat Engine or something to give myself 777 coins just to find out what's going to happen. Alright, so we collected the string and the magnets. Then we have to go in here, I think. Yeah.
I swear that thing just made eyes at me. Maybe she's got a crush on a gray. Whoa! Ah! Get off me! Help me, I'm trying! Get it off! We better get out of here!
Yeah, yeah, Octopus is not very happy. We're gonna go ahead and fetch that key. Oh. I said fetch the key before the octopus messes with me. Alright. Oh. Another cheap bat attack. And then we're going to open one of the doors. Probably this one. Not that. Or not. That's the locked one. Let's go ahead and do this. Eat away. Sure, I'll take it. And then pull the switch. And go through the one remaining door. Or corridor. What is this new monstrosity?
It's Mom and Dad!
Oh, it's just the parents.
Mom and Dad?
Luke, you can't stay here, kids. Get out of the zoo. Run for your lives.
But we have to get you out of there.
He'll be all right, honey. It's much more important for you to try to save him.
Hurry, make them lock or something. Get the cage open. I don't care what they say. We have to go in for them.
Oh, run, kids.
Alright, we found the parents. So close, yet so far away. So we're going to use this eat away stuff on this lock. Open up. And now we're at the Monster Arena by the Purple Pond.
At long last, ladies and gentle mutants, please join me in giving a warm, rousing welcome to the kids I will now gleefully destroy! I think I owe it to my public to present a truly spectacular show. A show that starts off with something you don't see every day.
Nice puppy.
You know, like perhaps doing away with dear old Mom and Dad.
Hey, look who's back.
Been fun having you with us, folks. Too bad it's time for you to go. From the moment you bothersome brats escaped during your last visit, the residents here began to wonder if I was losing my ability to run the show. So let me assure them I've never been more on top of my game.
That's a mess, Storm Cloud! Don't ask me how, you guys, but I did it. I found this cosmic monster attractor and reverse polarity switches. Now, any minute, all these gross creatures are sucked into here will be blasted back to the stratosphere.
Oh, you ignorant waste of sweat! Messing with that machine will set off an explosion so gigantic it'll eradicate every inch of HorrorLand.
Come on, we gotta get to the tower so we can help them play.
Alright, well, everyone's gone. They're freaking out because we're about to blow up the place, I guess. Let's get ourselves over there. Make sure everything's good. Yeah, let's go. Here you have to be very quick because we're coming up on card number 10. There it is. And as far as I think that's your one chance to get it. Like if you missed it there, you're done. Hey, it's Stump.
It's so glad you decided to join us. I've been hoping we'd meet.
Face!
Of course, this jerk.
Get it? I'm Stump. Stump is me. One in the same. One insane. It's been that way all along. And now, even even though I can't destroy you according to my original plan, poor little meddlesome Clay here has ensured that your end is still at hand. When my beautiful cosmic monster attractor blows, you horrible kids will explode along with it. And it'll all be on the Monster Channel. Check your local listings.
Honey, what are we gonna do?
Just hang on.
It's Mom and Dad!
Oh,
Just hang on.
The crank! On the wall! Get over there and try the crank! While you're at it, maybe there's something you can do to keep the attractor from exploding. No, but first do the crank! Stop the attractor, then do the crank! Do them both, but please hurry!
Do whatever you like. None of it matters. It's much too late.
Okay. So you can see there's a timer. You can see there's a little graphic indicating how far along the parents are to death. We can look around. You can see he's kind of distracted there. But what we're trying to get to is this. Good old game of Simon Says. YYRB. RRYRB. RRYRB. 2, 2, 3, 2, 1, 3. Yeah, I got it. So there, I haven't done it, but if you fail, well, if you fail, you get a bad ending. I succeeded, so I believe I'm gonna get the good ending.
Hey, does anyone know what this thing does? I wonder what this thing's for.
Just a nuclear explosion, that's all.
Say this, Clay. It's a good thing you didn't push that one first. Yeah, right. See you later, Clay.
And they're back home.
Man, never thought this house would look so good to me.
oh my baby!
How did they get there ahead of the kids?
How did you guys get here?
Oh, we went on a ride from our new neighbor, Maddie.
Maddie?
Hi, Jeff. Have we met?
And that's it. That's Goosebumps Escape from Horrorland, the good ending. Not a perfect score, because as you can see here, I ended up with only 1 token out of 777 total. And as I said, that just seems insane to try to get all the tokens. But and my own curiosity might lead me to try to cheat it, just to see what happens if you finish the game with that perfect score. But we got all 10 cards, so at least we got that. What was the last card we picked up? That would have been this one. So what was this final hint that we were supposed to get? So to save mom and dad, to save the day and do both, you'll need to test your strength and your colorful memory. So, I mean, that's not even a hint, right? Like, obviously, yeah, we're supposed to play as some Simon Says. But that's it. Yeah, collected all the cards, got 1 token. The game just goes ahead and shuts down. Before I wrap things up, it didn't lead us into the credits, so I'm going to go ahead and take us in there myself. Spacebar skips all the cutscenes.
Oh no.
But yeah, we can do some credits real quick. There goes some producer folks. Then we have some art folks. There goes everyone who worked on the art. And this is at the developer. So this is just DreamWorks Interactive. Here go the programmers, which is nuts to me because there's only 4 programmers on this. Maybe it's not technically that complicated, but I mean, it doesn't seem like enough to me. We have a lead, we have programmer, and then we have 2 additional programmers, and that's it. Then we have the test folks. Quite a few. We have a lead, we have 4 testers, and we have additional testing from a bunch of people. Oh, what was the last one? Goodwill Ambassador? Yeah. Video compositing, which, as you saw, there's a ton of that. So, and they used a tool called Flint, which I never heard of. Something from the mid-90s, apparently. So video compositors. Oh, game design. That would be huge. Okay, so here go all the people who contributed to the design of the game. And I think that's it for these categories. Yep. We can look at Scholastic, see what kind of folks they had on board, some producers. Oh, that's it. So yeah, they really were just approving things along the way. The huge live action cast or crew, because obviously there's a ton of live action. We can see here some of the actors. Again, Jeff Goldblum as Dracula, that's a big name. Isabella Rossellini as Lady Cadaver, that's huge. Yeah, this actor, Robert Joy, I know I've seen him in something. I also know I've seen the Luke Morris actor, Adam Wiley, in some stuff. Anyone else we recognize? David Wells, maybe? Yeah, I've definitely seen David Wells in other stuff. Susie Q, that was the actress from those info videos. So Nadine Greiken. There you go. What else do we have? A lot of zombies. The werewolf stunt guy. Renfield shows up somewhere. All right, what else do we have? Some casting folks. Some animals. There were 3 dogs. I've never seen the one in the Doom slide. And I've written every Doom slide, so I don't know what that is supposed to be, but... Oh, you know what that... No, that must be the mummy. The one that holds the skeleton arm and drops it. That must be that dog. That's the wolf in the cage, and Goober, the dog you see in the intro. So there's that. A whole lot of production crew names. Stunt coordinators. Sculptors from the miniatures, because there were a lot of those. Some special effects, some model makers, and that's it. All right, what's miscellaneous mean? iOmega no longer exists, I'm sure, but they were big in the... I know them from the zip drive era of disk drives, if you all remember that. That was from the early aughts. Very brief period of zip drives. They got created in this Flint application, which I never heard of. Wait, is there other stuff in here? What else is there? Oh, there were pumpkin carving. Oh, this must be what the pumpkins we saw were. So these people, probably kids, carved some pumpkins and they submitted them and they won. And they got them in the game. Special thanks. Who gets that? I'm surprised that they don't thank the people from DreamWorks. Like even Spielberg. Where's he? Maybe he's in here and I missed him. But I don't think he is. No. So then there's no special thanks for Steven Spielberg, Katzenberg, Bill Gates from Microsoft, you know. Nowhere in here. If you wanted to join the Goosebumps fan club, here goes the details on how to do that. $8.95. So, geez, $10.95 to join the fan club. Well, for the US. Canada, it's even more expensive. All right, but I think that is it. Of course, I restarted, so I don't have anything. But yeah, thanks for watching the first playthrough of a Goosebumps video game. I don't think there's anything else to comment on here. You've seen what it is. Again, I think it's... I haven't played them all, but this already feels like it's going to be my favorite of the bunch, just because it has a unique quality to it. I think they pulled it off really well. After this is Attack of the Mutant, also from the 90s, because there were only 2 games in the 90s during that, first run of Goosebumps up to the year 2000. There were only 2. And yeah, it's going to be that game is going to be interesting. You saw that this game had a little bit of first-person shooting stuff. That game is nothing but first-person shooting and perspective, so that'll be interesting to play through. But yeah, until then, I'll see you in that video, and yeah, have a good night.